Welcome. Welcome. Welcome everyone. We'll come back to that, the superb Yes album from 1971. We'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, welcome to this week's Vinyl Monkey. The Olympics started on Friday, and as you can see, every time the Olympics starts, it inspires me into some sort of keep fit regime. And it's not just, you know, I'm not just pumping iron all day or out running or swimming, although I have been doing that today, the swimming bit, not the running. But I try and build it into me everyday life, you know. So yesterday, instead of driving around the paper shop to buy me morning paper, me daily dose of naive optimism, I walked around the paper shop instead to read about Wanted for War Crimes, Benjamin Netanyahu. And last night, instead of just going to one or two pubs and having 3 or 4 pints in each, as I usually do, we went on a pub crawl, you know, walking between the pubs, about 100 yards, 200 yards between each one. So, you know, in little ways, in small ways, it's inspired me. And we've got, 4 weeks of this Olympics, so I'll try and keep it going. But anyway, welcome everyone. This week I'm doing a bit of one of these contest things. I'd like to initiate one of these actually, because I keep entering them. I never ever win them. I've never won anything, but I would like to initiate one, but I wouldn't have any clue as to how to do the what you call it, the, you know, the logistics, the sort of, you know, how you would do a draw online or anything like that. So it's just too complicated. But and sending things out, and I don't know. So anyway, I've entered one, and this is a contest by a guy called Doug at the Auditory Vinyl. He's trying to get his subscriptions up. Seems like a canny channel. What you've got to do is subscribe to him, which I will do in a minute. And you've got to do 3 things. First, you've got to give a shout out to a channel, any particular channel in the vinyl community, and show a record that they might show or like. So to give you a sort of flavour of the sort of stuff they show. The second thing you've got to do is you've got to show 2 records by artists that you rarely see in the vinyl community, that you think people might like, or that you might, or that I might like to see more of. And then third and lastly, show 3 albums where one artist played on them in 3 different bands. So 1 artist, 3 albums, 3 different bands. So without further ado, here we go. I'm going to give a shout out. I think this is the 2nd time I've given a shout out to this channel, so they owe me a pint if ever I'm over in their part of the world. And their part of the world is the west of Ireland, southwest I think, of Ireland. And this is a channel called Spinning Prog, which I just think is a really, really nice channel. It's a lot of prog stuff, but not just prog. And it's run by father and daughter, Dermot and Tara. And I think I've said to you before, the crack is just so good on that channel. they both know their music, and you know, Tara's obviously, Dermot was there to some extent in the at the time, and has seen some of these bands and was there at the beginning, and his daughter Tara just loves that type of music, but they're both coming at it from different angles but know their stuff. Really good crack, very, very nice channel. Although I am a bit worried now, it looks like from the last video I watched of theirs, Tara did it without Dermot and with what I think is a new fella. I think she's got associated with a vinyl community guy from over the pond, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he said he owns his own record shop as well. So could this have an impact on the spinning prog? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, the sort of stuff they might show. Well, Dermot, I think from what he said, is a big Chicago fan. And this is Chicago's debut album, Chicago Transit Authority, which was their original name before they shortened it to just Chicago. There's the main members of the band there. Just a great blend of rock, jazz, blues, you know, great horn section, just superb band, and I absolutely love this double album debut, absolutely fantastic. They've had about 38 or 40 or something albums out, I think 36 or 37 studio albums, and I have 3 or 4 of them here, but and they change lineups quite regularly and change styles, and maybe they veered a little bit away from where they started, as most bands do. But if anybody out there is a big Chicago fan, in addition to Dermot, maybe you let me know which number Chicago album or which numbers maybe that you would recommend that I should hunt out. But that's yeah, Dermot would show Chicago, and I get to show 2 records here because there's 2 of them on the thing, and Tara would is a big Van de Graaff Generator fan, and this is God Bluff. This was sort of from the second phase of the Van de Graaff Generator, when they came back after their first retirement. This is, yeah, God Bluff 1975. One of my favourites actually, yeah, 4 tracks, some great horns, some great flute. David Jackson, isn't it, I think? Yeah, David Jackson on the horns and flute, superb stuff. So yeah, Van de Graaff Generator, God Bluff 1975. The next thing was to show 2 records by artists you rarely see in the vinyl community that you think people might like, or that I would like to see more of. Well, what I'd like to see more Americana, actually. I call it Americana, new country, alternative country. I mean, maybe I'm just not watching the right channels. Maybe there are people who are specialising in this stuff and I'm just not aware of them. That's quite possible. But the sort of stuff I'm talking about, people like, I'll show 2 people. First of all, Will Olden, who often goes under the name Bonnie Prince Billy, and these are 2 of Will Oldham's later albums. This is Songs of Love and Horror from 2013, was it? I think 2015, something like that. And this one is Wolf of the Cosmos from 2017, and both unusual in that this one is Will Oldham reworking some of his back catalogue, really, but in a way that is just so sparse. It's him singing an acoustic guitar, and it just brings his singing, which I think he never probably got enough credit for in the early days. It brings it right to the fore, and he's just a great songwriter, brutally honest, sometimes perhaps cynical, but cynical about himself, not about life and things, cynical about his own self, and as I say, often brutally, painfully honest as well. And then this one, Wolf of the Cosmos, this is where he's reworking. He's not just covering somebody's songs, he has done that. He's covered Merle Haggard in the past, but he's actually covering somebody's LP, whole LP. That somebody is Susanna Wallenrod, Norwegian, and the LP was called Wolf of the Something, but he's covered the whole album, but again extremely sparse sort of production, beautifully done. That's Will Oldham. Yeah, check him out. I'd like to see more stuff by him. And the second one is Bill Callahan, and this is Bill's first band, I suppose. I mean, he went under the band name Smog. This is the album Red Apple Falls, and then this one is Sometimes I Wish We Were an Eagle, under the Bill Callahan moniker. And Bill Callahan is just again an absolutely stunning songwriter, lovely baritone voice, brilliant songs, just profound. A lot of them. We'll play out with one of them, I think. So yeah, I'd like to see more of that stuff. Maybe people who watch this might point me in the direction of somebody's channel. And then lastly in this contest, show 3 albums where there's one artist who played on all of them in 3 different bands. Well, I haven't watched anybody else's contest entries actually, so I'm guessing somebody else might do this particular artist, but hopefully they might show different albums. The artist I'm talking about is Bill Bruford, the drummer, and that's why I held the Yes album up. This is Bill Bruford played on the first 5 Yes albums, I think, including this one from 1971. He left Yes, I think, a year or so after this, but he's playing on here. The rhythm section on here is absolutely superb. Chris Squire on bass, as you heard in that introduction, and Bill Bruford on drums and percussion. Superb. My favourite Yes album. Actually, going back to Spinning Prog, they're Yes fans, but they acknowledged that Yes had gone bad at some point, and they were trying to identify when did Yes go bad in one of their videos. For me, they went bad with Tales of Topographic Oceans relatively early on. I went to see them live, and that was too much for me. That was enough. But anyway, Bill Bruford started out in Yes. He left Yes in 1972 and joined King Crimson, and this is the first album. I think he starred as drummer on 3 King Crimson albums. This was the first one. Lark's Tongues in Aspic, superb album. Perhaps is it one of their more difficult albums? It can be, but it's yeah, there's some beautiful parts in it. But and he you know, his range of drumming from really subtle percussion through to Ginger Baker-esque sort of thrashing is well demonstrated on this album, King Crimson. He then left King Crimson after 3 albums, and he starred with all sorts of different people and played in different bands and even his own band. But the one I've picked out is Roy Harper's HQ, one of my favourite Roy Harper albums. Roy Harper at this stage called his backing band Trigger, in America this was known by the name of the last song, When an Old Cricketer Leaves the Crease, but it's typically sort of eccentric Roy Harper, but yeah, a real nice album. So that's Bill Bruford. That was his 3 albums, and I think we'll play out, as is my want these days. I shall just turn that. This is Bill Callahan. This is the first track from I Wish I Were an Eagle. This is Jim Kane. I'll get the beautiful.
I started out in search of ordinary things. How much of a tree bends in the wind? I started telling the story without knowing the end.
I don't want to turn this off, it's just gorgeous.
I used to be darker, then I got lighter, then I got dark again. And something too big to be seen,
Well,
was passing over and over me.
that's it. See you next time.